Even though I have my authorization to begin my strikes, I'm going to hold off a little bit, at least until I get maybe another recon pass over Baghdad with my SR-71 and my U-2. U-2, I think, has plenty of fuel. Yeah, almost 7.5 hours to bingo fuel, so should have plenty of fuel to do a pass over Baghdad. My Blackbird is going to have to refuel. But while they're all in transit and continue to kind of gather ELINT, let's go ahead and look over the message log from the last time. So, initiate Baghdad strikes, launch Tomahawk strikes from Kennedy Saratoga Task Force and Gloucester Ranger Task Forces. Map reference designated targets. Priority 1 are red targets, priority 2 are orange, and low priority are green. So, Baghdad bridges are orange. Communication centers are mainly all high priority. And then government infrastructure is generally medium to low priority, other than the Iraqi Air Force headquarters. Launch OECM SCAD mission using EC-130 and A-10s based in King Fahd International Airport. Launch tanker support missions in preparation for further air attacks. Follow Tomahawk strikes with air attacks on designated targets. Take every precaution to avoid civilian collateral casualties. But until I've got a little bit more recon, I'm going to hold off on the Tomahawk strikes for now. But if we zoom in here, we got plenty of targets in here. The Republican Palace, telephone exchanges, Iraqi intelligence, regional headquarters. I'm pretty sure a hospital is not supposed to be hostile. Hotel Baghdad, a mosque. I'm pretty sure some of these are not meant to be hostile, but I'm pretty sure they're in red just to make sure you don't say attack everything and drag select. Ba'ath Party headquarters, Presidential Security Force, Saddam Conference Center. Alright, so everything that actually is a target actually has target in front of it, which will make this a little easier. Oh, another thing to note in this scenario is that there is actually civilian airliners flying around, which is why you see a bunch of neutral cities everywhere. Moscow, Berlin, London, Paris, is because those are actual air bases because there's commercial aviation flying about. So I can't just automatically declare everything that I see hostile. Alright, so J-Stars and the E3 are up. The E3 will give me coverage of the northern half of the country, with plenty of overlap with my one over in Saudi. I do think it's a little weird that I have control of Israeli aircraft. I've got some Israeli F-15Es and some RF-4s and a tanker. Oh no, that's an AEW aircraft. Let's see, are we actually moving? Oh, we're moving 15 knots. Go to cruise. Alright. Don't suppose any of my Seahawks actually have weapons? Probably not. Nope, they just got drop tanks. Let these two helos basically just keep shadowing that group. So the Gloucester group, maritime surveillance, seeking. I have one linked with sea skuas, but that's probably not going to do all that much damage. Ranger task force. Now, one thing I haven't really looked at is I haven't really looked at my carrier groups. So as you can see, most of the carriers are actually like only 3 3 units or 2 units. It's not full carrier air groups. Well, it is the Ranger, so Ranger may not have had full squadrons. But we got some Tomcats with Phoenix for bar cap. We're definitely be using those because the F-14 is awesome. Phoenix Light for bar cap. Some Seahawks, maritime surveillance, near-tip torpedoes, and a couple of Sea Kings with Marines on them. Let's see, and then we've got the Roosevelt Midway group. Yeah, even these air groups seem to be quite a bit pared down. Oh, what did Vincennes do? Just mark everything that flying as hostile? Picking up plenty of ground targets. Alright, so we do know the location of some of the early warning sites. These are going to have to go sooner rather than later. So, I guess what I should probably start doing is getting my... Let's go ahead and get walleyes. Alright, so I guess I'll start... Hey, Pixel. Alright, so I think I'm going to start things off by conducting AEW strikes. Or, not AEW, I'm going to start by doing SEAD strikes. So let's get some missions set up for the compass calls. Alright, so the red dots there are really the main concern. Flat face radars, mobile. I'm assuming that I don't know what these units are. Those could be ground units. My JSTAR was unable to actually tell me what those are, other than, hey, there's ground units here. But I'm going to get my compass calls up. It's really strange, though, too, because I don't know... The thing with, like, jamming aircraft is how close do you actually need to get to where they actually make a difference? So we'll set up a couple of missions here. We're going to do a southern mission, and then we'll kind of do a northern mission, with the main goal of taking out these flat-face radar sites. Oh, looks like we have another one right there, right on the border. So we'll want to take those out first. That'll at least hopefully allow my Tomahawk strikes to go in a little more undetected. Got some SAMs over here. Runway, yeah. SAM battery. Oh, the other thing I think I asked in my first stream is that why this was red. And it's actually because it's a no navigation zone, but it's actually probably like for like ground units. So our aircraft should be able to fly into that area just fine, as our Dragon Lady is proving right here. And where is... Okay, so... we want you to refuel from... Which one is the tanker? That's the tanker. So refuel from that tanker. And then, so once the SR-71 refuels, we will have it go do a pass And then while that's refueling, I feel the need for funny pixel. All right, so as I was saying, let's get some missions set up here. So we'll do a support mission. Call it Compass Call South, just for the lack of any originality on me naming stuff. Continuous loop. Don't enforce flight size. Don't do 1/3 rule or anything like that. Transit altitude. That's fine. I'm not worried. And you can just go at later speeds. So then we can deselect those. And then we'll do another couple of points up here to the north. Oh, nope, that's not what I wanted to do. Try and get it as close to the border as I can here. Point there. And then add point there. Add new mission. No, I should probably change a mission doctrine. Mission doctrine, MCON settings are OECM is active, radars are passive. And then need to change that on the southern one too. So OECM is active, radars are passive. Perfect. Okay. So they were at King. What is it? Oh. Uh-oh. Our dragon lady detected something. Fixed wing? Although I don't know where it's at. We got a bogey somewhere, but I don't know where. Detected by radar. Oh, we may have another commercial air. Oh, we got another commercial aircraft flying around. Don't want to get too close to Baghdad, but flying 480 knots. Okay, so our Blackbird is eventually going to catch up to the tanker. It's just going to take a little bit. And let's see if the U-2 can actually pinpoint some more targets for us. Yeah, I don't know where the Dragon Lady came from. Alright, so where are... Oh! I even got some... I must have missed these. I have B-52s. Oh, that'll be fun. Speaking of B-52s, one of the scenarios in this pack that I'm really looking forward to is the buff scenario, which is basically about all using B-52s to basically flatten Iraq. That is going to be a really fun scenario when I get to it. I have very high hopes for that one. I hope I'm not disappointed when the time comes. Alright, so where are my... Daisy Cutter internal? Wow! We have an ammonium nitrate. Commando Vault. Daisy Cutter. I completely overlooked this the first time. Oh, that's... I have no idea what we're going to use these on, but they should be fun. In fact, I don't think I've ever used like the Daisy Cutter or the Mother of All Bombs or anything like that in Command. But anyways, enough like... Let's go ahead and launch Sign Mission North and launch Sign Mission... Oh no, wrong mission. Assigned to mission, compass called south. Assign mission to compass called north. Launch individually. So we're going to launch these at a little bit staggered intervals. Yep. Rivet joints don't seem to be picking up anything. My radars don't seem to be picking up anything. Not that I'm complaining. You know, I've always, speaking of like the Moabs and the Daisy Cutters, I've always wondered like how useful those would actually be. Like, especially in like a contested air environment, like I can't see that actually being useful at all. Oh, my rivet joint is just circling, so let's get you back patrolling the border. I could just set up a mission for this, but alright, so compass calls are both up and airborne. We'll let them get maybe 5 minutes out, then launch the next pair. And the reason I'm staggering them is that I do want their jamming to be a little spread out, so they're not all just like one big group of jammers. So let the first two get maybe 5 to 10 minutes out, and then we'll launch the next pair. And then probably 5 to 10 minutes after that, I'll launch the pair after that. And then once they're on their way, then I'll launch the A-10s, because the A-10s will probably have an actual faster speed. So they're going at 205 knots. So A-10 cruise is at... What is their cruise speed? At, say, 10 to 20. So they'll cruise at 100... Oh. Cruise speed is at 300 knots, so... Probably shortly after the the final group of EC-130s, I'll get them up. And do I have any tankers here? I do not. And these guys have about 9 hours of fuel. What's their mission? What else are they going up to? They're going up to 32,000 feet. I'm okay with that. Their fuel should actually go up quite a bit after that, as they climb up. Pixel. With the Moab, you can startle a few goats. Oh, that's funny. Change the name of the Moab to the Mother of All Goat Killers. New mobile target detected by my J-stars. I'm assuming that these are either A, ground units, or B, that's a host of SAMs like in one unit. But these, I think all these mobile contacts are probably, although I'm not going to make the assumption, but they're probably like ground units of some sort. Obviously, because they're mobile, they're ground units, but what I'm saying is I don't think that they're SAM units. I could be wrong about that. Yeah. No, because those are most definitely well, I don't know. Wonder, we're going to take a risk here. And if I fly my Dragon Lady right over, like, some of these, will I actually get an actual classification on it? There's something. Let's see. This may not end up well. I don't think fatigue is represented at all, Moose. Play Iron Man mode. No time excel. You know, I'm not going to do that today, SSN, but when I eventually stream my El Dorado Canyon scenario, I will dedicate 16 hours and I will play that in real time. What's actually funny is that what's actually kind of funny about that message, SSN, is that my automod actually picked that up and modded that comment. And I was able to fly right over that mobile unit. I didn't even get a classification on it, and I didn't get fired at. So that could be good or bad. Yeah, it's because I clicked allowed it. Let's see. J-Stars is picking up more mobile units. Just gonna be phase number 1. Yeah, plenty of mobile units, but I'm not getting like any. Well, all right. So we're gonna try this. We're gonna fly my U2 right over downtown Baghdad. And something I had meant to do, but I completely and utterly forgot to do, is I was going to make some overlays for Baghdad. But I'm not going to do that now. It's too late for that. Yeah, I guess you could implement fatigue via Lua Moose, but I don't think it's done here. And to answer your question, SSN, is the stream is going great. Oh, and before I forget, while I'm thinking about it, time to launch the next set of EC-130s. So you get assigned to Compass Call South, we'll launch individually. You get assigned to Compass Call North, we'll launch individually. No, I'm not trying to get the U2 shot down, but it's not being fired upon by anything, so I'm not really worried about it. Although it's not really doing me that much good, because it's actually, other than locating our buildings, it's not actually, it's not getting fired at. And it's not actually telling me what any of these units are. Alright, so our SR-71 is now refueled, so let's go ahead and turn it in. It's now climbing back up to altitude. And I'm really just using the SR-71 because you don't really get to play with the SR-71 that much in command. But I don't think it's actually going to be able to tell us anything that the U-2 isn't. And actually, one thing I've always wondered, does the command implementation of the SR-71... Because you always see, like, the SR-71 with, like, the drone, like, on it when you go to, like, see them in a museum, but I don't think that's actually in any of the loadouts. That's a little lame. 1966 model, does this have the drone on it? No. That's a little lame. But pretty sure that SR-71's not going to be able... Yeah, the sensors are active on him. Let's don't obey MCON and just turn on the radars. I mean, radar's on. He's just not identifying anything. So... maybe his Mark 1 eyeball, maybe in order for that to work, he needs to, like, descend down to, like, 10,000 feet. The A-12. Is the A-12 in... A-12 Avenger, the Terrible Triangle. But I don't think the Recon A-12 is actually in command. That's interesting. Should be playing this in editor mode, and then I can get myself F-14Es. Yep, doesn't look like the A-12 is in the database. It might be in the Cold War database. It's amazing that even up at 90,000 feet, the SR-71 only has about 6.5 hours of fuel. More bogeys being detected. Falcons are coming ready. Some Strike Eagles just finished getting ready. Give another couple minutes and I'll launch my third and final set of EC-130s. And then we can actually start going and blowing some stuff up here.